Hello and welcome to some radicals and simplifying them. We're going to be talking about perfect radicals when you can actually get a number answer, as well as times where radicals can only be simplified. If I'm saying radical and you don't know what radical is, it is the root symbol right here. This is a cube root of 8, a fourth root of 81, a square root of 108. All of these are radicals. It's just the word they use for the square root symbol, except it's not always a square root. And the way we're going to be doing this is through number trees. And the way number trees work is you look for numbers that will multiply to the number above it. So in this case, this is an 8. So you think of any two numbers that multiply to 8. I'm going to choose 2 and 4. Then you split up anything else you can. Like 2 cannot go into anything. Nothing multiplies to 2 besides 1. 4, however, can get split because 2 times 2 equals 4. From here, once you have completed the number tree where nothing else can split up, you're going to look at the index right there. The index, vocab word. It's called the index, the small little tiny number there. That tells you how many of a kind you need. How many of a kind? Well, I'm going to put you look for. There you go. So that number is how many of a kind you're going to look for. So you'll look to see if there are 3 of a kind. So do we see any number 3 times? And the answer is yes. There are 3 2s. At that point, what you would do is you would look to see if there is anything that's left over. And here there's nothing left over. Because we split up the 4, it doesn't count. There's nothing left over. The answer is going to be just 2. The cube root of 8 is 2. In terms of concept, cube root is the opposite of cubing. Like 2 to the third is equal to 8 because 2 times 2 times 2. 3 times you're multiplying 2 by itself is 8. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So 2 to the 3 is 8. And cube rooting just goes backwards from that. If you're taking the cube root of both sides, then cube roots and cubes cancel, and you would get 2 is equal to the cube root of 8. So that's just like the connection going on. This isn't really like necessary for reducing these things, but just in case you want to see the connections in math, that's why the cube root of 8 is 2, because 2 cubed is 8. Okay, so for fourth root of 81, we'll do that number tree. Once again, you can split up into anything that multiplies to 81. I could do 9 and 9. I could do 3 and 27. Either of those would work. Does not matter. I'll do 9 and 9 because that's the first one that comes to my mind. The 9s also split up because 3 times 3 equals 9. When something gets split up, you don't use it anymore. And in this one, we are going to be looking for 4 of a kind. And there are 4 3s, so the answer is just 3. And that means I'm probably going to have to go pretty soon. 27, feel free to pause it and try these if you would like. I'm sorry, try this one. It's 9 and 3. This is 3 and 3. So you have a 3 and... Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. We're looking for 3 of a kind. So we do actually have a triplets of 3. So the answer is just 3. Actually, I don't have to go. Never mind. Okay. Next up. This is what happens if you do have stuff left over. In this one, we are looking for 3 of a kind, but we're going to start the same way as before. 9 and 9, 3 and 3s for all of them. So you're going to look for 3 of a kind, and you're going to find 3 of a kind. So normally you would just say the answer is 3 and you're done. But unfortunately, once we do these 3s, there's still a leftover 3. Because there is a leftover 3, that means we're going to have to stay underneath the radical. Any leftovers stay under the radical. Just don't forget that this was a third root, so you do have to put the little tiny 3 like that. So the final answer would be 3 times the cube root of 3. And if I was to split up 108, I have no idea what goes into 108, but it is an even number, so I'll divide it by 2. So if I divide it by 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and that'll be a 4. Once again, I don't really know big numbers that go into 54, but it's an even number, so I'll divide it by 2. And that's going to be 27. And hey, 27, that's a bit more familiar to me. So I split it up. Since there's no number here, I am looking for 2 of a kind. So we'll see 2 of a kind there. I see 2 of a kind there. Looking for 2 of a kind. And there's a leftover 3. So the big thing here is that if you have multiple things, you will multiply them together. So I have a pair of 2's and a pair of 3. So 2 times 3 equals 6. So I'll have a 6 and then this leftover 3. All right, I'll do one more. Pause and see if you can do it. I'm going to do 8 and 10. 5 and 2, 4 and 2, 2 and 2. I'm going to look for 3 of a kind. I got triplets of 2 there, leftover 5 and a leftover 2. So the 2 can go on the outside, but I have leftover 5 and a 2, which is going to make 10. And then since it's a third root, this has to stay a third root. All right, so hopefully that's good. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here and make another one in a bit. Hope it helped. Bye-bye.